This right here is the Falcam TreeRoot Travel Tripod, and it is by far the most thought out tripod I have ever seen, and it is by far the most versatile tripod I've ever seen. But to give you some context, I need to let you know what I came from. So in 2017, I followed the mantra, buy once, cry once. I bought a 700, 800 Australian dollar Manfrotto aluminium tripod. It was big, it was sturdy, it was gonna last whatever camera and setup I threw at it. And I loved that tripod for years. But over time, the aluminium and the massive construction of it, I wasn't using it much anymore because it was so big to lug around, and my philosophy sort of changed on gear. I wanted things that were frictionless and didn't get in your way, just were there and easy to use at all times. And that's when I found this, the TreeRoot Travel Tripod, a extremely well thought out tripod. And I'm gonna let you know all the features of this tripod, as well as a feature that I honestly can't live without if I was ever to change tripods again. It's one of those tiny features that you probably glance over, but honestly makes all the difference in terms of versatility for me. So let's give you a quick tour of the tripod first. We'll start at the legs. So Falcam has designed this triangular style tube design, which allows it to be super compact. It is nice and small when it's fully folded down, and super compact and easy to use. But inside of these triangular tubes, for the compactness, they've packed in circular tubes, which is perfect for stability and strength of the whole tripod. I've never had a problem with heavy winds or anything like that. It's a crazy sturdy tripod, especially in this size and form factor. Speaking of the legs, one of the things that this tripod does to not get in your way and just allow you to create super quickly is each one of the legs is only a single third of a turn before it opens. It's extremely easy to do. So just well, not even half, a third of a turn and the leg comes out. It's extremely easy to quickly just do all three legs and deploy it straight away. That sounds like not a big deal. Like, how hard is it to twist it a few extra times? But when you've shown up late for the sunrise, or something's happening in front of you and you really need to quickly set up, that is honestly a big difference. Being able to quickly open them and lock them down. It sort of makes me not miss the clamp style that I had on my old tripod. One of the reasons why a lot of people don't love the twist style is because it takes so much longer to unlock and lock. But honestly, with this third lock style design, it is so fast and I don't miss the clamps at all. Speaking of the legs, at the bottom here is a removable cap for a spike. So if you're in any situation where you need a spike for a little bit of extra grip, ice or something, nice and easy to pull those off. I almost forgot. Inside of each one of these twist locks is an O-ring to make sure that sand and dust and all that doesn't get in there, which is honestly really important for someone like me who lives by the coast and will be using this tripod at the coast. It's nice knowing that it's like stuff isn't going to get in there and glog it all up. Moving along with the tripod, it's got this center column with a quick release mount, which allows you to easily detach most of the center column to allow you to get super low angles on the tripod. So it's super easy. You push up on both of these sides, it flicks out, you push up again, and your center column is completely removed. It's one of those things, being toolless and super easy to do, it makes you want to get that low angle, because I know for me, with my older tripod, I'd have to like lift up the center column, push it to the side to get a super low angle. And I was never doing that because it was such a faff about. Whereas this, super easy, doesn't get in your way, and can be done in seconds. Speaking of that center column, on the bottom here is a hook. Now, personally, I think this hook is a little bit too small because my preferred bag has really thick straps, so it doesn't actually hold into here. So I can't really weigh this down with my camera bag. But with the hook, it is removable, so I can twist the hook right off. The cool thing about this being removable is it's got a flat blade on it, as well as an Allen key. So if you've got a loose tripod plate, you can tighten that up without carrying around an extra tool, just with the tripod itself. That is super handy. And another thing that it doesn't get in your way. It's already there, and instead of hunting for a tool if you didn't bring it or asking someone for a tool, it's right there and you don't even have to worry. And moving to the top of the tripod here, arguably one of the most important features of a tripod is the ball head. Now, Falcam is well known for their F38 tripod plate system, which is a quick release tripod plate. But this tripod head, which is the F38 Pro, can accept 90% of quick release plates. So any of your Arca Swisses, your Peak Designs plates, any of that will work in here. It's an easy snap in design. So you snap the camera in, quick little extra tighten, and you're good to go. That camera is not going anywhere. Speaking of the ball head, one release of this latch allows you to adjust the angle. And most importantly, that is adjustable via a knob here, which is you can tighten it up or release the resistance, which is really good if you've got like a heavy camera setup and you just want to adjust a little bit. Or even in a pinch, it can work sort of as a fluid head, but it's not the same, but it can work in a pinch. Speaking of the head, it's also got markings for degrees. So if you're into your panoramas, you can easily spin just the top here via the knob at the back here to get any angle you want, be that for a panorama or for time lapse or something like that. And before I get onto that feature that I honestly can't live without anymore, let's talk about the size and the weight. This isn't the lightest travel tripod in the world. It is pretty light. I think it's 1.3 kilos. I'll leave it here, what it is. It's not the lightest carbon fiber tripod I've ever seen. It's not the lightest travel tripod I've ever seen, but it is light enough to the point where I will never not grab it. It's, especially for what this tripod packs, the weight is very acceptable. And the size, it is super small. It is super compact. It already at its base level is super low to the ground before you start adjusting anything. It doesn't extend crazy tall. I'm 6 foot and it sort of gets to eye level, but it's not the tallest tripod in the world. I've definitely had taller tripods before, but it is tall enough. And especially with how small it packs down and being able to easily slide this into the side of your bag, I think it's well worth that sort of trade-off for the height. And my most favorite feature of this tripod that makes it so versatile is this F22 rail. Now, if you know anything about Falcam and the F38, F22, and F50 systems, this won't be a surprise to you. But to think about it this way, F38 is sort of their camera tripod plate locking system. F50 is that for video cameras and larger accessories. F22 is their camera accessory, video accessory, sort of like a NATO rail, if you know what a NATO rail is. Essentially, in this slot, you can put a magic arm to mount a light, to mount a microphone if you're doing a talking head like this. You could mount anything, like something you're filming. You could mount a battery off the side if you're doing a really long time lapse or star lapse or anything like that. You can mount your phone onto the side to make sure that you're getting all the shots that you need, or to live stream to Instagram or something. You can mount a Insta360 on there, or you can mount a GoPro in there for BTS. That expandability makes this tripod so versatile. In fact, On the other side, it's got a 3/8 thread on there, which I've added another f22 onto there to be able to do more things. You know, if you're taking macro photos and you want to get a flash off to the side, you just put a Magic Arm on there and get that. It's one of those things where it doesn't sound like a big deal, but you start using it and boy, it's a game changer. Whether you just want to mount your phone somewhere or you need it to get that flash off camera or to get the mic nice and down low and not in your shot. It's a super versatile feature that isn't talked about. And honestly, I don't think I could live without that. That is such an awesome little addition to an already great tripod. Editing Harry here. I don't think I explained how useful that is in the context of day-to-day shooting. I was doing a sports gig in which I had to shoot in 38-degree Celsius weather. And that is, I'll put the Fahrenheit or whatever, but that is ridiculously hot. And I legitimately used this tripod to mount a umbrella above my head so that I could get a bit of shade and a bit of coolness, and then use the adjustability of the ball head in order to make me not miss my monopod, so that I could still like use my 70-200 in a smooth enough way that I'm not missing shots, but making sure at the same time that I don't overheat and am still able to get the shots that I need for my client. That little thing makes me gravitate to that tripod even more. Just, yeah, it's those little things that once you know how to use it, it just changes everything. Anyway, back to the video. And that brings us to price. This tripod is pricey. There's no way around it. It's sort of peak design travel tripod territory in terms of pricing, but honestly, I think this is worth it. It packs in a bunch of features and is just no frills, no compromises in my opinion. I have not once had a problem using this. I've never been concerned using it. I've never found anything on this tripod that makes me go, oh, I wish this was different. This is one of those products that I honestly don't see a downside whatsoever to, other than the price. It is very much in that buy once, cry once category for me, and it's a tripod that I'm going to be using for years to come without any complaints, unless something breaks. But this is a well-constructed, well-built tripod that I look forward to using. To put in perspective of how much I love using this tripod, I put this video off for weeks, mainly because to shoot this video, I would have to use my old tripod, which is a pain to use. That's all I've got for this one. If you want to see another product from Falcam that is amazing, I've got a video on their foldable camera cage, which is another no frills, doesn't get in your way, easy to use camera accessory. You can check that video out here. You should give me a subscribe because as a small YouTuber, that helps out a bunch, and give me a like. Thank you very much.